micro fishing adventure today. I'm at my parents' house in northeastern Pennsylvania, and we're going to go to the pond in just a second, but I'm at this little creek on the way there, and I do notice some what are probably small creek chubs floating around in there. Now these are not going to be easy to catch, because they must have very small mouths, but I do have a very small hook. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to put a worm on and see what happens. Just a tiny piece of a worm, I should say. I don't even have the bobber floating in the water because it's so shallow, but there are little tiny fish going around down there. I don't know if any of them are going to be interested in this. Get down there. So these, I'm sure you can't see, but these fish are all tiny, 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 and they're all going for it and taking tiny little bites, even though it's just this little piece of worm. They're not even getting the hook. I think it'd be so cool to catch one of these little guys. Again, they could be creek chubs. They might be some other kind of minnow. They actually seem even small for creek chubs. Took it. All right, I might come back to these little tiny guys later, but I'm gonna head to the pond now. All right, so here we are at the pond. Just gonna give you a brief history as I make a cast here. This used to be a decent bass pond in like the early 90s, early to mid 90s, and then some beavers took it over. And what I suspect happened, they kind of created an environment by damming it all up where there's not much oxygen getting in or out, and so it's a low level lake, low oxygen level, and then there's only certain fish species that can survive, and I have not caught a bass here since the 90s. Now we're getting a bite, so there's a few species it could be. Let's just see if anything takes. What I've caught here, last summer I only caught tiny brown bullhead, and I've heard that's kind of a symptom of these low oxygen level ponds too, is just stunted catfish. However, I was here like a month and a half ago, and all of a sudden I'm catching small bluegill, small pumpkin seed, and like normal sized creek chubs. So I think they got in here somehow, probably from like a flood or something, and I don't know if they're gonna stay or what. But I was expecting to get some more immediate action, and it's just kind of sitting there. Yep, there, right on cue. Oh, but since these things are so small, it's harder to hook them than you might think. I'm sure we're gonna get some fish, but oh, see? Hope you can see that when they take the bobber, but again, these are very small fish. If I caught anything bigger than 5 inches, I would be shocked. So really, whatever's in here usually goes for it within the first 15 seconds of it hitting the water. It's nice and close to that tree there. Let's see. A little surprised. Set that bail, Brendan. There's something. There's something. No. Somebody's not taking it. Damn it. There's a fish. Finally, and it's a rather large creek chub. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't get my camera wet. I don't have the waterproof casing yet. Quick release there, but I got him. Alright, so that is a creek chub. Pretty big creek chub. Maybe that's even our 5 inches. More like, I don't know. It's about the length of my hand, almost. Whatever that is. Okay, back you go. Aggressive little fish. So creek chub, no surprises. As far as I'm concerned, they made their first appearance in this pond this year, but there's another fish right there. Is he on or not? Looks like it. There we go. Now they're biting. So this is a tiny bluegill. Teeny tiny bluegill. You can see. Alright, so they were just warming up before. Nice little gilly. Okay, here we go again. So we have one creek chub, one bluegill. Creek chub rather sizable. Bluegill was tiny. Oh, another fish. Wow, that was quick, but did not get hooked. They're just hitting it the second it hits the water now. So I think someone went home and told their friends free food. See, look at that. Just taking it all the way and then just not getting hooked. Bigger hook, maybe. I'm not going to do it now, but soon, maybe. Oh yeah. Everybody's hungry now. I just need to find where I was delivering the food. Oops. Oh, and I've got something on there, but yeah, he's stuck on there, but he's up. The trifecta. Whoa, 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 don't get my camera wet. These guys have no respect for me and my camera. Oh boy. Shouldn't be hard. I actually brought a hook remover. Oh, so don't worry, these guys can survive out of the water for a long time. And he also kind of swallowed the hook, but I think I can save him. So that would be a brown bullhead. Hello. I did get the hook out very easily, so here's the release. Oop. Tiny bullhead there. He's kind of croaking for us. I don't know if you can pick that up. Well, I wasn't filming, but we have a very small specimen. This would be a pumpkin seed. Oof. Not sure about this pumpkin seed. Okay, so unfortunately that pumpkin seed really swallowed it, and it was a tiny hook. Any effort, I don't have any tool that can take it out of such a tiny mouth, so we did harvest the pumpkin seed, but we're going to try something. We're not going to let it go to waste. I put a little bit of his meat on the hook, and we're going to see who goes for it. Fish are very cannibalistic typically. Yup. Didn't take long. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Ah, a bluegill on the pumpkin seed. There we go. Another tiny bluegill. Hooked right where you want it, right in the lip. Easy to remove. Boom. Goodbye. You know, I am seeing some big splashes on the other side of the pond. And every time I witness something like that, I think, well, maybe there's still bass in here. But there's so many other things it could be. There's beavers, of course. There's frogs. It looked like a bass, bust. But the other thing is, it's so hard to get over on that side, on that far side over there. I don't know if you can see that thing swimming in water. That is a beaver. Yes, I was hoping he would do that. So that's kind of their warning call or defense mechanism. I mean, I think it's both to warn other beavers that there's a threat, and I think it's also to warn me that I'm not welcome here, but it's my pond. I've been here for about 2.5 hours at least, and I've actually caught quite a bunch of fish, but nothing unexpected. I was happy to catch all 4 species that I knew were already in here. Caught that 1 pumpkin seed. I ended up catching 3 little bluegills, probably 12 or 13 brown bullhead, but none of them were of any decent size, and probably 6, maybe 7 creek chubs as well, and actually a couple of them were pretty big. But the reason I stopped filming was because this is a very muddy, messy area, and I still don't have a water protector for this camera, but that's coming soon. So I know there wasn't too much action, wasn't here for too long as far as you're concerned, but it was a pretty interesting outing, and hopefully you get to see that beaver. And I don't know, I think tomorrow we're gonna try somewhere else, the Lackawanna State Park, where we can actually catch some big bass.